Hi, my name is Eric Elbers, Product Manager for CycleOps. Today we're going to show you the brand new M2. We're going to unbox it for you. We're going to show you the setup and the bike installation. So stay tuned. All right, so here we have the M2 and we're going to go ahead and get it unboxed. You will need one tool for the setup of this. You'll need something that is adjustable either to a 1/2 inch or a 1/2 inch wrench. I like to use a 1/2 inch nut driver. It tends to make the job a little bit easier here. So once you have the package open, you'll find another box here, and this contains the resistance unit. So within the resistance unit, you will find your power cords right here, your main power adapter, the instruction sheet, which we'll be going through in this setup, the resistance unit itself, the clutch knob and RU attachment hardware right here, and then lastly, you will find the bolt action lever as well as a trainer skewer in here. So now that we've emptied that box, we can get to the frame. Unfold the sides. This little piece comes out. And here we go. All right, so now we got everything we need for the installation. I'm going to set the power adapters aside here. We don't need those at this moment. So we're going to go ahead and install the resistance unit, and that goes within these two brackets here. The first thing we're going to want to open is the package with the clutch knob and RU attachment hardware. All right. I'm going to turn this around so you get a view of this here. So what you're going to do is first install the L-bolt. L-bolt's going to be installed and drop down. While you hold the resistance unit in place and slide it onto the bracket here, there we go. You want to position that L-bolt through the hole in the resistance unit. All right. Now that I've got that set up, this is the resistance unit nut. It's got an arrow on it. The arrow is going to point down, and that's the direction you want to insert that nut. Right here in this hole. I'm going to position that in and drop that in. And it's got a rounded edge, so it'll be flush with the resistance unit as well as the bracket to the trainer frame. The RU nut, like I said, that's a 1/2 inch. So you want to make sure you have a 1/2 inch nut available. And we're going to insert this. You might need to lift the resistance unit up a little bit. The holes may not be perfectly aligned. And then once we get it close, again, I'm going to use my 1/2 inch driver. And I'm going to continue to press it through and turn it until it's tight. Now there is a little bit of a trick to how tight you want this to be. You want this to be tight enough that the resistance unit has free range of motion, but is not sloppy within the two brackets of the frame. Once you've achieved that, then you're ready to go for the next step, which is threading on the clutch knob. Take the clutch knob, and we're going to thread it on. We don't have to go all the way, because once we set our bike up on there, the resistance unit's going to need to lean back for clearance anyways. So just half of the way down is perfect. We can unfold the legs now, and now we're going to set up the attachments for your bike. You already noticed that the non-drive side is pre-installed. And this is the side that has the 120, 130, and 135 millimeter dropout spacing. Next is our bolt action bag. We'll go ahead and tear that open. This is your spring-loaded bolt action. The first thing you're going to notice on the spring-loaded bolt action is it has one end that has kind of an outside bevel and one end that has an inside bevel. You want to make sure the end with the inside bevel is facing in towards the trainer. So I'm going to go ahead and position that in. I find that a little bit of turning helps get through that. It is a tight fit. You don't want that wobble in there, otherwise you're going to be wobbling on the bike during those hard efforts. We're going to open up this little padded bag here, and then this is the bolt action lever. It's got a soft touch to it. And what you want to do is turn the bolt action until it's in clear view of anywhere within this little track. And then we're going to find those threads and thread it in until it stops. You don't need to go too much further past hand tight, and then it's ready to go. So that was basically as simple as it gets. We have our trainer skewer here, which will go onto our bike. We do recommend that you use our trainer skewer. A lot of skewers that come on bikes nowadays do have plastic end caps or end caps that wouldn't fit this very well, and we want to make sure that you're supported. So using this skewer on your bike is very important, and we'll show you that step in the next segment. All right. Now that I have my M2 assembled, we are going to switch the skewers with the skewer that was supplied with the M2. It's very important that you use the skewer that comes with the M2. A lot of times the stock skewers, just like this one here that I'm removing, have plastic end caps, and we don't want to rely on that for support in the trainer. If you do happen to have a bike with through axle, it's a similar process. We have through axle adapters for 142 and 148 millimeter bikes that you will remove your through axle and then use our proprietary adapter with your bike in place of the skewer that came with the trainer. So here's the skewer. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and when I remove the skewer nut, I'm going to take one spring off with it. There should be two springs pre-installed. I'm going to insert that on the non-drive side. And then next, the spring goes on, and the spring is in the shape of a cone. You want to go ahead and put the small side of that spring or the small side of that cone on first, and then the skewer nut. The purpose of those springs is to keep the skewer centered if you were to remove your wheel all the way, but we're not doing that today. We're just swapping out the skewer. So we're going to go ahead and tighten that down, and then once we got it close, we will cam the skewer closed on the non-drive side to have a secure connection. So nice and secure, and we're ready to install this on the M2 trainer. All right, our skewer is installed, and now we're going to go ahead and install the bike onto the trainer. So first thing I always do is loosen the resistance unit a little bit more and make sure it's tilted back far enough out of the way that it's not going to interfere at all with the tire. So now I've got that. I'm going to go ahead and align my skewer to the drive side and the non-drive side cones. I've already got the non-drive side here set up at 130 millimeters, the dropout spacing of this bike, and we have it aligned. And then the bolt action is the last step here. I'm going to go ahead and grab that bolt action and lock it down into place. All right. Now I have my bike secured on here, and you're going to want to just double check and make sure, grab the bike, wiggle it back and forth, make sure you're secure and locked in there. Once I have that locked in, we're going to come back to the resistance unit and tighten down the clutch knob. Remember, this clutch knob is just like the gas cap on your car. First, make sure the tire pressure is at the manufacturer's recommended pressure, and then go ahead and tighten the clutch knob until it clicks. Yep, there we go. It won't go any further, and now I have proper and secure connection to the tire. One thing you will notice on a wheel-on trainer is that the roller will impress the tire a little bit. So it will have a little bit of an indent there. That is perfectly fine. It's actually very bad for the tire to be too loose or not tight enough against the tire. That can cause extra slippage, extra friction, and actually wear your tire and your trainer roller much faster than is designed to. So having a little bit of an indent there is perfectly normal. If you don't want to wear out your good outdoor riding tires while you're indoor on the trainer, we do sell trainer tires that are specifically designed to work with trainers. They grip the roller better and they work very well. So something worth considering. Lastly, the last step before I go and connect to my training software is powering it up here. Power it up and look for the green flashing light, which will indicate that we're ready to go.